Do you think you can weld? Hey, I've suddenly gotten a job tonight from somebody who needs a little assistance welding aluminum. He's got, I think, a 1971 Rolls Royce. I think it's a 4-door. He's trying to turn it into a coupe, so he's welding door panels together. The material's pretty thin. He's having a really hard time establishing a puddle on the parent material. I guess he was having some limited success with the MIG. Switched over to TIG per somebody's suggestion, and that's just even worse. I'll show you the pictures that I've been sent from this project. You tell me. This guy didn't approach me initially. I just happened to be going into my weld supply shop to visit my friend because I was taking my kids to play the playground across the way because we were in that town. My friend was like, boy, too bad you're not sticking around another hour. There's this guy who needs some help with some aluminum. He wound up calling me, so I'm going up to see what I can do to help him. My friends at that weld shop where I get my welding materials didn't know what was going on, couldn't help him. I showed the pictures to my materials shop, the fab shop where I get all my drops and scraps and new material when I need it. They didn't know what was going on. I even sent the pictures to my good friend Cam on here who welds aluminum for a living.
So a lot of that does look like operator error to me. I'm not even sure I really like that grounding tab. I can't quite tell if it's been cleaned around it. It looks like a lot of paint. I think he definitely needs to make friends with a grinder and a wire wheel and some acetone, because some of the places where it's all black and smoky and you can see where it bubbled out and he didn't get the puddle, that he was way too close. That's how you get all that black smoky shit. Any number of things could cause what he's got there, really, or a combination of several things.
And I pretty much agree. I think it's operator error. Not dissing the guy, welding on dirty aluminum is like the worst thing ever. Welding aluminum is tricky, it's difficult, it behaves a whole lot more differently than carbon steel does, mild steel, stainless steel. Aluminum is just different. You've got a much narrower window of time before the solid parent metal turns into liquid and then overheats and falls down through. And his looks to be quite dirty. So hopefully I can help this guy get his stuff welded together and also teach him enough that he can be self-sufficient even after I leave. I know that's not a great business strategy, but whatever. I think it'll come back. It'll be all right. I also have some aluminum coupons in the back so that he can practice if he needs to. A nice, clean aluminum. Most important step is to not slam your tungsten. But what about you? What do you think? Take a look at this situation. Does anything jump right out at you? And I hope to make a continuation video once I actually get my hands on it.
Anyway, good luck. Let me know how it goes. So many times I've been building shit and we say, well, it's not a Timex or it's not a Rolls Royce. I've never worked on a Rolls Royce.
I'm like literally wearing a romper, carrying my rig to my van. Come with me on a job to assist a gentleman who has requested advice on aluminum welding on an old Rolls Royce. He'd had a hard time establishing a puddle and maintaining a bead, and between the two of us, we had a lot of experts puzzled, so... PPE, little TIG box with the proper size tungsten and collets. My traveling bag for an aluminum job, I don't even know. Lots of alcohol. Stainless consumables. This guy owns a body shop and builds hot rods and races. Has trailers full of parts. A special interest on steroids, really, and he knows how to weld. He's familiar with it, and he does a pretty good job. Got a TV somewhere, that'd be cool too. Now, as you watch while I'm TIG welding, you can see that it's making contact, but it's almost acting as though it doesn't have a good ground. But it absolutely does. The ground clamp is right behind where I'm welding here, and the arc occasionally goes out. The material was cleaned very well on the front side, the back side, not so much, but not dirty enough that I thought I would get this much of a problem. He had used this assessment tool to see that this particular type of aluminum had a lot of magnesium in it that could affect its weldability. But at the same time that that's happening, I'm smelling a lot of paint. So doesn't work like that?
Tack welded to there, if we could.
Okay.
And then
I know I was there to teach aluminum TIG welding, but I want to go back for some lessons on sheet metal forming because this guy seems to be quite the master, and I know very little about that. I just know how to not blow through it. Sheet metal is always going to be a challenge because you have less material to work with. If you have to clean it, you have to take that material away, usually, as you're removing the dirt, the paint, the corrosion. And of course, once you weld on it, you've got a hardened area, and sometimes that affects you when you're cold working the material. And you might be noticing that things were going a lot easier now as the night went on. I don't know if it was because the material was warmed up or I was doing the back side here where I couldn't pull as many impurities from the other side that had already been welded, been cleaned. And as gross as this looks to me, I guess it's exactly what he wanted. I had to weld on the edge, build it up a little bit, because it's where two doors are going to meet, and it's better to have weld material in there, actual aluminum, than body filler. I'm not a car guy. So although I think this looks like something my dog left behind in the yard, it was apparently just what he wanted. So I got a quick job in, got a quick lesson in on sheet metal forming, and I got to work on a Rolls Royce, which is apparently a whole bunch of other vehicles, mostly with a little bit of Rolls Royce. And I'll know a lot better next time I'm welding on 70-year-old automotive aluminum. He's also got a scrap pile bigger than mine. Check these out.